Hey gamers, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Michaela DiCesare, and here's our review of Mystery Express.
Where the driver of the train is blind.
Mystery Express is obviously a clue-type game. Each player is trying to solve the mystery murder. In the box, you'll get the playing board, which represents the train in each of its carts. It also has the itinerary route of train. 5 really nice player pawns of different colors. 5 ticket wallets, which are used to hide your notes, and are also used as summary cards which explain each action a player can do. 100 sheets, which are the sheets on which players will write their notes. Crime cards, which contain the people, motives, cabin, and method cards. Time cards, which determine the time of the act. A telegram notepad, which is used at the end of the game to help break ties. A train marker, a conductor figurine and tokens. Passenger tokens, a travel bag, and finally a whistle.
Here's how you'll set up the game. Each player chooses a character and receives that character's ticket wallet, that character's pawn, a sheet to take notes on, and a character token. Each player now takes their pawn and places it in any cabin they choose on the train. Now, shuffle all of the crime cards separately and randomly take one from each category and place them under the board so that no players can see them. You should now have 5 cards under the board, which represent the actual murder and all of its details. Place the deck of time cards to the side of the board and shuffle all remaining deck together to form one deck of crime cards. Give each player 7 cards from this deck. This forms the player's hand. They may look at these cards and already start taking notes on their sheets. The remaining cards will go in the passenger spot and on the conductor's spots. Place the miniature train on Paris, shuffle all the conductor tokens and place them face down on each location. Place the 2 passenger tokens on the cities with their image on them. Put the travel bag in the sleeping cart, and finally, the first player will take the whistle and place it in front of him. This is just a first player marker. You're now ready to start solving the mystery.
On your sheets, you're trying to find out who did it, why they did it, what did they use to do it, which cart did it happen in, and finally, at what time it was committed. The first turn starts off by flipping over the Paris conductor token and placing the conductor inside the cart shown on the token. For the train to reach Strasbourg, it will take 4 hours. Who will survive? This means that all the players now have 4 hours to do actions.
Looking on your ticket wallet, you'll see that each action takes up time. Some take 1 hour while others can take 3 hours. Most of these actions are a way of looking at other players' hands and cards. These actions are also summarized on the board using images and also have how many hours each action will take. Each card in the game has 2 copies. So the goal of the game is to basically rule out each category by seeing 2 of the same card during each hand. So for example, if you end up with 2 poison cards in your hand, then it's impossible to the method card under the board to be also poison. Therefore you can rule it out on your sheet. You're basically trying to spot the same card twice during the same hand, so you need a really good memory to win this game.
We're not going to explain each of the actions. You'll have to buy the game to find that out. But basically, the actions help you acquire cards from other players, see cards from their hand, or trade cards with the conductor and passengers. For example, if I want to use the sleeping card action, I would move my pawn there and choose an opponent. That opponent takes the travel bag and hides it in one of his hands. If I guess the correct hand, I get to take a card at random from one of the categories in his hand and look at it. Once I looked at it, I place it face down under my character token. This is my discard pile. Every time a player does an action to look at a card or trade cards, the cards go under the token of that player. If the conductor is also in that cart, I get to have a chat with him. Basically, I can take a card from one of his spots and look at it, then place it on my discard pile. Next, I take a card from my hand and place it in that conductor's spot. So you see how during my turn I can see different types of cards. Hopefully I saw 2 of the same, or kept track of where they are so that if I see 2 of the same in the playing area, then I can rule it out. If I have 1 hour left, I can move to the passenger cart and do that action.
So each player will do a turn spending their hours trying to figure out what cards are under the board. Once each player has played a round, each player now picks up their discard pile, and this becomes their new hand. If you have 2 of the same cards in your new hand, lucky you, you can rule it out. Move the train to the next city and flip over the conductor token to see where he moves to. On this new city, you will see time card symbols and a passenger symbol. This just means you can now talk to her as an action, which is almost like the conductor action, but it takes up time and you will use the passenger slot number 1. When the second passenger gets on board from the next city, you can use slot number 1 or 2. The time cards are really tricky. Each time you land on a city with those cards on them, you will do an hour of the crime action. Each city has its own way of showing you the time cards. So you're trying to figure out which time card has only 2 in the deck, meaning that the third one is under the board. In Strasbourg, you flip over 1 card at a time so all players can see. If you saw the same time card only twice, then that's the time the murder happened. Write it on your sheet. Once the time action is done, a normal round will begin, but this time the players have 5 hours to spend.
When you reach Budapest, you almost have an idea of what cards are under the board. If you're a good detective, that is. Using the telegram paper, players all write down their predictions. These will be used as the tiebreaker. You can leave it blank as well, or only write 1 or 2 of the categories. It's all up to you what you write on the telegram. Also, once in Budapest, each player places a card face up from their hand next to the board, at the same time. When you finally reach Istanbul, it's time to check the mystery. Each player circles their predictions for each of the 5 categories. Flip over each card under the board one by one and check who got them all right. If 2 players have the same points, then you use the telegrams to break ties. Each prediction on the telegram which is correct will earn you 1 point. For each wrong one, you will lose a point. The player with the most points wins the game.
I also want to mention that each character has a special power. One might give you an extra hour, while others will give you 1 chance to look at a specific card in a category once per turn. When you do use up this action during a turn, simply flip over your token to show players that you have used up that power. It's a really fun game and anyone can get into it. The artwork is nice and brings out the theme and era really well. The only thing you'll find annoying at first are the long player turns. Since everyone is reading all the actions, the first couple of games will be longer than normal. Once everyone knows the actions by heart, the game will go on quicker and become more enjoyable. It was really fun bluffing. When someone gives you a card, you can always pretend to write something on your sheet to make them think that the card is part of the mystery. Or you can write nothing at all and wait a while before writing anything down, as to not give away your predictions. You really feel like a mystery solver while playing this game. The summary cards are really nice and the summary on the board is useful. The only thing which is really hard to figure out is the time of death. But if you're into clue and mystery games, you have to get this game. It's great for a night of mystery solving and it's a good alternative to Clue. We enjoyed it and we're giving it an 8.5 on 10.
Okay, the camera's not rolling anymore. It is. So now look at this.
No, I wasn't doing that for the camera.
It's all been rolling.
I love saying that.
You want to show everybody in the Bored to Death world how much of a prima donna you are?
No, that's not what I was going for. I was going...
She spent 4 hours in makeup, okay?
That's not true.
Let me tell you something, okay? There's something wrong there, alright?
Because if I spend 4 hours in makeup and I still look like this, I beat you to it.
Right.
Right there.
Well, I don't
happy?
I don't use Crayola as my makeup like you do, so, you know.
What? I just do that because Luca has a small budget.
Luca,
Sorry, Luca. I don't know why I dragged you in.
I wish I had your back on that one, Luca, but
What I gotta deal with?
Are you serious? Bystander.
you don't need to bring Luca into this.
I'm sorry, Luca. It's just that, you know.